Okay, so this is going to be the third and final volume that we're going to be finding in sixth grade. And this is a volume of a cylinder. So we've already looked at volumes of rectangular prisms and triangular prisms. And it actually follows a very similar method. Okay, we're going to kind of start with the same formula that we used for the other ones, where the volume is going to equal the area of the base times the height. Okay, so we're doing the same kind of thing. We're thinking area of the base. We're going to imagine, just like we did with that first rectangular prism, if we fill in the area of this base one time, and then we're going to have to see how many times it would go in. Okay, and so let's, for this, we'll say this is 30 centimeters. Okay. All right, so we are looking at this right here, and we have a shape, a cylinder. It has two bases. We want to find the area of the base. It is a circle matching the circle up here. So we're going to have to remember the area of a circle equation. And so that area of a circle is going to be pi r squared. So this right here is for a circle, which is what the shape of our base is. So we're going to have to do pi r squared. We're going to use 3.14 as a pi approximation. So to find the area of this circle, our radius is 5. So I'm going to do area equals 3.14 times 5 squared. Remember, when you square a number, that means you're multiplying by itself. So it's 3.14 times 5 times 5, or 3.14 times 25. And then if I would like to, I could probably use a calculator to figure this out. We have 3.14 times 25. That's going to give us 78.5. So we know that the area of the base is 78.5 centimeters squared. That's the area right here. That's the area. So we can think that that would be if we would have sort of like filled that in for like a little bit, right? Maybe that much right there. We've kind of filled in a little bit of it, but we've got 30 centimeters worth to do. So we're going to take that area and we're going to multiply it by 30. 30 times of these. 30 times we're going to have to kind of fill this in. So I would just stick in my volume equation. Volume is going to equal the area of the base, that's the 78.5, times the height. So I'm thinking of the height of the whole shape. In this case it is 30 centimeters. Again, if I want to use the calculator to do the math here, that's totally fine. And so we're going to see 2,355. So our volume equals 2,355 centimeters. These are cubic centimeters because we're talking about volume. So very similar to the other ones. Area of the base times the height. Then you got to be careful when you are looking at something that might be turned sideways. You could turn your paper if you want. And you also want to be careful that if you're given the actual radius, because that's what we use for the area. So we can see right here for this one, 12 across, that's actually our diameter. So our radius for our circle right here is going to be that diameter divided by 2. So I would do 12 divided by 2. So our radius is actually going to be 6. Right? And this goes back to what we were talking about earlier this week about circles. So we've got a radius of 6. So now I can put it in my equation. Area is going to be pi r squared. This is 3.14 times 6 squared. I'm going to get some parentheses around that. We could actually do it all at once if we wanted to. Then we're going to multiply by the height. So I'm going to put the height of this. Oops, I forgot to write it on here. We were going to say this is about 10 centimeters. So we're going to multiply that whole thing by 10 centimeters when we get there. So you can either do it in 2 steps. You could find the area first and then do a separate problem times the height. Or if you want to write it all out at once and just remember your order of operations, that's fine too. So let's see, I'll write this 3.14 times 6 times 6. I don't actually stop writing centimeters. 3.14 times 36. Multiply that by 10. So then I do 3.14 times 36. It gives us 113.04 or 4 hundredths. And when you're multiplying by 10, you can either stack them and so you have 2 digits over, so you have to move 2 digits, at the end, or you could remember the shortcut. How many zeros are in this power of 10? There's 1, so I move the decimal point over 1 to the right. So I'd have 1,130. Oops, making mistakes here. 1,130.4. We just moved the decimal point over 1 time to the right. And that's going to be centimeters cubed. So we just did pi r squared for the area. Multiply that by that third dimension, by that height right there. And that gives us 1,130.4 cubic centimeters. So that's volume of cylinders. Find the area of that base, and then just multiply it by the dimension. It could be the height. Remember, turn it if you need to think about the base and the height.